Welcome back, everyone. Among the many questions parents will have to answer from their kids, this one might be among the most difficult.
And one day, when he was about 7 years old, he stopped me and he said, "Hey, Dad, what happens when you and Mom die?" Now, you can imagine what I'm starting to think. I mean, I'm starting to think, you know, is he having an inkling about heaven? Is this something he learned about or saw something in school? Did he watch something on TV that traumatized him? You know, I had hundreds of assumptions bombarding my head because what I was most concerned about was getting that right answer, because if I didn't get the right answer, I'd mess him up for life.
That is Andy Cohen and his TED Talk addressing the trap of assumptions. They could be life's big red herring, sending us off on a wild goose chase if we make the wrong assumption in our personal or professional life. Andy was here recently, and before he answered his son's question, he asked him why he was asking it. Take a listen.
He said, "Well, I'm asking you because I want to know what happens to the apartment, because I'd like to put a pool table in the living room."
So there, Andy is the author of Follow the Other Hand, which challenges us to look at how assumptions can impact our personal and professional growth. Our conversation then turned to assumptions we make about our children and how failure impacts them. So what to do when a child fails a test or gets a bad grade? How should a parent then handle that? Should there not be punishment associated with failing a test? Should you not have privileges taken away? Should failure not be tied to some kind of consequence?
I think the first thing is to understand why the child failed. Instead of looking at the grade, a D, right, as that mark of failure, or a C. Some parents, an A- could be a failure. I think you have to look at the reason why. What happened? What transpired? Could the child not understand? Could the teacher not have taught it correctly? Could, you know, the child...
There's an assumption we don't make.
Right.
So punishment as a consequence to failing is not necessarily always a good thing. It does not incentivize them to do better the next time.
That's right. And I think punishment in itself is an assumption, because sometimes you assume that the punishment is going to make it better. Sometimes it makes it worse. So we think failure is really about a collection of data. It's what does the child learn from that failure to make them better moving forward.
And you know, as he said that, I thought maybe a child's failure in various areas just points to the fact that they learn differently and they should be studying in a different way.
Make the assumptions you don't know.
Yeah, but we always assume that everything going into it is solid and good, and so your child is generally at fault.